really, really close friend who's gone through years of therapy, and I've been talking to her so often, and I just feel like I am a whole new, like I'm chiseling away the person who Courtney really is. You know what I mean? Like all the years, the 35 years I've been alive, they totally covered me and threw dirt at me and like buried me. And here I am chiseling away at my purest self. And this is the journey you all are on, right? And it's our job to help other people do this, and experience the beauty of self-growth. Ashley Mayfield always says, like, I don't care if you do it works forever or not, but you're going to leave here a better human being. And that is fully what this team has been founded on. You will see your leaders. We've gone through so many stages and phases. And you're going to do the same thing too if you are committed and you stay here with us. So anyway, I want to just start with that because seasons can be beautiful. They can be difficult and strenuous and easy and lifeless and life-filled, and like all of these incredible emotions, some high, some low. You're going to feel them all through this series of growth, and it's just beautiful. So I wanted to start with that because we are going to go into a video here in a little bit, and I really challenge you to be totally open to it, okay? I'm going to tell you what it's about in a few minutes when we get there, but it's going to be different, and we're going to do something after the video that you probably aren't used to doing that's going to challenge you a little bit, but it's going to be fun. It's going to stretch us, and I think it's going to yield some pretty awesome results. So the first thing after that I want to talk to is I made a video yesterday talking about how we need to look at yesterday, and if you didn't watch it yesterday, then we'll say today, as August 1st, okay? Another Ashley Mayfield video, she came in our Triples and Up group, and it was awesome. And it was so true. Like, she nailed it on the head. So she said, there's a cycle in this business of people who get stuck. And this is kind of what it looks like. So the first of the month hits, they're like, man, I really pushed hard at the end of the month. So I'm going to take a couple days just to whatever, I don't really need to post. I just posted 5 times in the last 4 days. Like, let me just take my foot off the pedal a little bit. So the third or fourth kicks in, and they get really excited about their business. And then they put the pedal to the metal and they start rushing. And then the 6th or 7th hits, and we get commissions posted, and they're like, seriously, like that, I worked so hard those last 4 days for that money. And so guess what? Then they go into this cycle and they slow down for the next 2 days, and then they get over it and they're like, okay, I want a bigger paycheck. It's the 10th, like, let me get to work. So then they start getting back to work. They start trying to get focused. By the way, Amber Parker will say, for any day you take off of your business, like any day you don't open the open sign, it's a week off of your pay. For a week that you take off, it's a month's pay that's gone. And for like a month, I think she said it's a full year. Like, you have to be aware that whether or not you're getting the likes, whether or not you're getting the messages, people are watching you. People are watching you. So the consistency is so, so pertinent. So anyway, Ashley says, okay, so then paycheck drops, you get frustrated because it wasn't what you wanted. You set out to, have this big goal last month and you didn't hit it. And so your paycheck reflects that. And then you're upset for a few more days. And then, all right, well, the 25th is almost here. So let me get started. Let me really, you know what, I'm going to kill this month. I'm going to go from executive diamond in the next 6 days because anything can happen in the last 6 days. And that is true. But not if you are caught in this cycle, right? You have to be so aware of your emotions and so aware of your feelings. And like, my old job, I was a server, you guys, and I was a very emotional person back in those days. My boss was like, leave your emotions at the door. If you came in and you were like laughing, or if you were crying, you would get reamed. He's like, this is a business. You're here to work. You're here to make a paycheck. I don't care what problems you're going through. I don't care what life is happening. I don't care who died. Leave your emotions at the door. And while I'm not saying that extreme to you, like, you have to understand this is a business. At the end of the day, it's numbers, right? We talk about these things all of the time. And so if you really keep your emotions at a low level and just keep your activity at a constant. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not telling you to give 400% every day, but like put forth effort into your business every day. You're going to see the paycheck go up. You're going to see the enrollments come in. You're going to have the trust with your viewers. All of these things go in together. They all play a part, right? But you can't do this every single month with your emotions that are in regards to the paycheck that you may not have earned. I mean, I have been doing so much self-development, you guys. I swear I'm a new person than I was like 3 weeks ago. I'm not even joking. So I have a lot of references. I was watching another Ashley Mayfield video earlier today, and she's like, do you know, she's like, I have done the math. If you complete your steps to success for whatever it was, like 2 months in a row, you will have a paycheck of $500 a month. It's impossible not to. And that is what the company has given us, steps to success. It's possible. You just have to be doing the right things. And so, since I was talking about yesterday being August 1st, if I said October earlier, I apologize, I may have. We need to get ready. And I challenged you guys to make a list of 200, 1 to 200, just number it before the end of the month. And then next month, we're going to fill those 200 boxes or 200 lines with names, okay? With people we're making new contacts with out and about. With, if you host a party, you've got 4 people that come, the new 4 people who come. With new Instagram followers who you have a connection with people who are commenting on your live videos. Wherever you're getting these names, make sure they're quality names, okay, that you have a rapport with. These people you're having a list of are going to be the contacts that you use for 2 new products that we have coming out next month, 2, and for whatever incredible madness Mark drops at Green Carpet, okay? If you are brand new with us, welcome. We have an incredible CEO, and whenever we have these events, we do 2 huge events yearly, and then we do smaller sort of like satellite events around all over the world, actually. These events, the 2 we do here in Florida where our corporate headquarters are, they'll blow your mind. Like, we have no idea what's coming out. It could be a bonus. It could be like a crazy promo for new reps. It could be anything. It could be a trip. Like, we really, truly have no idea. But whatever it is, you're going to want to have a list of names, okay? You know what? You've heard us talk about the hundreds list. I have about 40 of them all over my house. We'll compile them together and create a list of at least 200 names. It sounds like a lot. If you're new, I totally get that overwhelms you, but let us stretch you. Take our belief that we know you can do this, okay? And if you're unsure, reach out because we know you can do this, okay? We can help you do this. We can help you find 200 names. So that's the first thing I really wanted to talk about. Let's see, I have my notes numbered because they're important tonight. All right, so kind of going back a little bit to what I was talking about earlier. When you are trying to create this content that is connecting with your audience, okay? If you are following people and growing a network according to the way that we've trained, right, on Instagram or through Facebook, through whatever it is, right, a product that you both like, or a country that you both like, or dogs, or things that bring you joy. If you're connecting on that level with people, I want you to really think about how you're connecting to them. So often I think that we kind of just post to post. We just do it because, well, my leaders say I should be posting, so let me post. You need to do something that connects with your people, with your viewers, right? Don't just put up a post to put up a post. We have called these posts, since I started 5.5 years ago, pull posts. Apparently now they're called like lifestyle posts or attraction marketing posts. Go back to who you were. If you've been in this with us for a while, go back to who you were before it works, okay? If you're brand new with us, hone in on why you clicked that submit button relatively recently. And tell those stories from there, you guys. Okay, so people see me now in my stories. They see the current Courtney. What I don't showcase enough is the hurt, broken, cynical, depressed Courtney that lived, because it's not always like a fun thing to revisit that person or revisit those times, because they were hard and it was dark and I cried frickin' every day, and like my life was not pretty at all. But it's important for my viewers who are probably not able to be stay-at-home moms, who are probably not without credit card bills now, who are probably not, going on vacations or playing music because they can, or bringing their husband. Thank you so much, Jackie. You have to, while you continue to go to, Jackie 2.0, Jackie 3.0, Jackie 4.0, right? Every next level brings new challenges, and that's why you have to go to that next level. Don't forget who you were, where you came from, what bigger problems were from the past, because people who are watching you can relate with that. I posted something the other day, and Mel and I were talking about it, like, if you want to quit now, like, go back and look at who you were and where you were when you started, and you'll see just how much stride you've made. Okay, so that's a little message to A, give yourself some grace, B, give yourself a little more credit than you do. Jackie and I had a great conversation on that today. That's really important, because most of us here, I mean, if you're on this call, then you're committed to this business. If you're on this call, you're committed to working hard and utilizing this vehicle to impact and change your life. So if you're doing that, give yourself some credit. Like, really, just, we're so hard on ourselves. Most of us are stretched very, very, very thin. And hopefully the exercise here in a little bit is going to help that. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about, utilize where you were. And you don't have to have a success story, but I think if you've been in this business for any amount of time, then it has changed you, not only financially, but definitely in an emotional state. So when you're posting, keep that motion. Okay, just keep the vision. Talk about where you've been, talk about where you're going, talk about where you've been, talk about where you're going. People need something to believe in. Most people don't believe in themselves enough to give this a shot, right? If you're talking to people, most people don't believe in themselves enough to say yes to this. So you've got to continue to cast the vision, show them where you've gone, where you've been, show them where you're going. And that includes a lot of excitement, okay? And I was explaining to my girlfriend today, when I started this business, I was not very good at any of it. I was not very good at making posts. They were black, green, and bling and ugly and blurry pictures. I was not good at talking to people. I would pretty much vomit if I blitzed, and my messages were really long and wordy. So like, I was not good at the things that I needed to be good at to do this business successfully. So here's a tip. Here's something that I did, and I haven't told this to anyone in a long time, and I don't know why. So I used to, and I still do, my enroller is super, super red. She's super good with words, and she gets the job done on Messenger. So when I would send a message, I would literally be like, okay, I'm going to be an actress. Right now I'm going to channel Amanda Pruitt. What would she say? If someone responded to me, what would her response be? What would her response? Like, I would just try and think of, okay, this is how Amanda talks. This is how I'm going to talk. Chantel Lyons is this incredible ambassador who's been in the company for like 11 years or something crazy. And she loves I think she did a blitzing video, and her demeanor is just so, I have to give you this, and like so peaceful. And so when I was starting blitzing, I would think of her. It was calm, it was cool, it was collected, and it was confident. It was all the things that I wasn't, that I wanted to be. Same thing for parties. Like when I would host a party, I would just try, and even though I was literally shaking and like in the bathroom minutes before people got there, like I had to emit the personality that I wanted in that situation. And so I think that any of us can do that. You just have to, I think awareness is the word of the night. You just have to have awareness and really figure out who you can channel. Who do you relate to that you are inspired by in whichever mode you're going to be doing, right? If you're ready to go blitz, think of, gosh, who's the best in-person speaker that I know, and then go act like them until you find your niche, because you'll find, 5 years ago, I said I would never do a live. I would never host a meeting. Like I would never do these things. And like after practicing enough times, I've gotten kind of good at it. Actually, I did my first like video in front of my husband yesterday, and he's like, babe, I'm so proud of you. So just give yourself some credit. Do the things that scare you, and then do them over and over and over again. Give what your market needs to read. That was another one of my notes. I think we touched on that. And the one last thing I'm going to do before we watch this video that I'm going to touch on is ask yourself, I'm not going to ask you, if you are, or if your motions so far have been that you are a good starter, or are you a good finisher? And for me, I'm being completely transparent, you guys. I'll just give you a little bit of an like insight to my patterns, because I've never been a finisher. Hence why I went Pres 4 years ago and still sitting here. That is something on me, completely on me. I will start a book. I will read 40, 50, 60 pages a day until I get to there's 10 pages left and I don't finish the book. I don't know what it is. It's something deep down. I need to have therapy to figure it out. But I start things. I stick to them. I do them freaking so hardcore and so well, but I'm not a finisher yet. I'm going to do my due diligence and I'm going to break this. But it is like a it's like a self-sabotaging mode that I've done my whole life, and only now am I starting to see it. And so now, whatever, better 35 years old than never, right? Now I get to fix that. But in our business, we're going to have people who come in who are great starters, right? Oh my gosh, they're out of the gate, like they get it, they're doing the self-development, they're enrolling, like they get it, and then they fall off. And that's okay, because it takes all types, right? And then you'll get people in who like you're going to be like, okay, I mean, if you really want to sign up, let's do this. And they're not going to do anything for a while, but they're going to watch and they're going to watch and they're going to watch. And then 6 months in, something's going to happen and they're going to go, I don't know why I've been just sitting here. Let's do the damn thing. And they're going to do it. So ask yourself if you're a good starter or a good finisher, and then figure out how to be the other side too. Like you can be both, right? I'm not saying, are you one or the other? I mean, I kind of am, but only to bring awareness, because most of us are one or the other. And then guess what? We've got freaking Google, anything at our fingertips. You can figure out how to be better. You can figure out what the seed is, right? Just takes a little bit of conscious thought. It just takes a little bit of effort, and then you can figure it out. So all right, that was a little longer than I wanted to go through. All right, we're gonna switch gears. I'm gonna have us watch something that is awesome, but it might only be awesome to me because I'm in this transitional state right now. Like I'm in this, my world is changing. Like I'm ready for everything. But I'm hoping that if you're not there, that this will help you want to be, because this video is incredible. And then we're going to probably get really uncomfortable after that for about 10 minutes. And then we'll wrap this thing up. So I'm going to screen share. Give me 1 second. No, actually, if I can from here. Can I do it, Jackie? Oh, yeah, there it is. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Whoopsies. Here we go. All right. So if you are working on your phone, I am going to ask you just to put it down, just to watch this, just to be aware. And then after this, we're definitely going to have our phones down. But take a peek at this. This is so super cool. And it's pretty quick.
Most people don't understand that. The truth is that every time you overcome yourself a little bit more, the side effect is that you love yourself a little bit more. It's not about your wealth. It's not about your health. It's not about your freedom. It's who you become. What actions, what behaviors do you want to change? Do you complain, blame, judge? Do you make excuses? How do you talk? Do you speak limited? Just 4 things you're not going to do any longer. What emotions get you in trouble? And if you don't know, close your eyes for about 30 minutes and just watch where your mind goes and watch your feelings and just say, okay, frustration, it's unworthiness, it's self-doubt, it's guilt, frustration, shame. Just become conscious of them and just review them in your mind. You know, people say, oh, well, you shouldn't focus on the negative. Well, really? That's 95% of who you are. And you got to begin to dismantle or denature that old personality. And that means you're going to have to come up against the cravings that the body has emotionally. You know, like if it's 8 o'clock in the morning and you're doing your meditation, you're normally in traffic. And you want to get angry, and your body's going, hey, you're off schedule. So let me just find something that's mapped in the brain that I'll bring up a past experience why you can feel a little anger. Well, now once you become aware of that, you're working to become conscious of that and not go unconscious again. And it takes an incredible amount of awareness. It takes a great amount of consciousness, and you can't have consciousness without energy. So you got to raise your energy in order to get that. Otherwise, you're going to consume, you're going to return back, right? So if you start becoming familiar, so conscious of those unconscious thoughts, it would never slip by your mind checked by you. And the research shows that you can get better at this. You could actually sense the thought before it comes. So then you start firing and wiring new thoughts. You start thinking to yourself, who am I going to be when I open my eyes? Well, how am I going to make a difference in the world today? Who am I going to be? How am I going to give? How am I going to serve? How am I going to contribute? What are things do I want to really do today? And after closing your eyes and just thinking about and rehearsing what you're going to do. Your brain doesn't know the difference. And if you get caught up in it, you begin to install the neurological hardware in your brain to look like you've already done it. Now the brain's no longer a record of the past. You are priming your brain. And if you keep doing it, the hardware will become a software program. You know what that means? You just might start acting like a happy person. Well, there's no surprise there. You installed the circuits. Stress hormones arouse the body, so you have your attention on your body. Stress hormones alert the brain, so you're aware of everything in your environment, like an octopus with tentacles in all different directions. You got to control and predict everything in your life. And if you're living by the hormones of stress, you're always investing your attention and energy into the known future based on the past. You're on a line of time here in a timeline. So then let's think about it. How are you going to make thought more real than anything else? How are you going to create from thought? Well, let's close our eyes. Let's disconnect from the environment. Less sensory information coming into the brain. Less distraction, as you said. Let's play some soft music in the background. Let's stick some earplugs in our ear. Whatever you want to do. Diminish sensory. But now you're sitting down. You're not eating. You're not tasting. You're not smelling. You're not feeling. So there's less sensory input coming to your body. So then now your brain waves begin to change. Start slowing down and move from this mid-brain pattern where you're aware that you have a body in space and time, or your attention is on the outer world, or your senses are giving you information. But sensory information, now your inner world starts becoming more real than the outer world. You're not the voice in your head that's always talking to you. As your brain waves change, you start seeing in images and pictures and symbols and less in vocalization, that vocalization. You're going to start changing alpha. You're going to start creating, start dreaming, pretending. So then, if you say to your body, you're going to sit down for an hour and stay, and your body's going to say, I'm going to die, my bladder is going to explode, I need a coffee, I got a lot of emails to do. That's the program. And you say to your body, today we do battle. And you sit through that, and you make your way, even though your body's trying to get up and you keep settling it back down. I'm telling you, when you start your day that day, you will be more kind, more loving, gentle, patient, or present, because you're mastering the present moment. That means you're not in the predictable future. You're not in the familiar past. You're mastering time. And so then, if where you place your attention is where you place your energy, and all of your attention is in the present moment, got a lot of energy to do amazing things. And you know when someone's present with you in your life because they're paying attention to you. You know when they're not present because they're not paying attention to you. So the act of getting more present means you're putting a lot of energy in the present moment, and you're taking your power back from all these things and people in your life. So we teach people this. As they start breaking through and they start being able to unfold into this field as an awareness. And they're not putting their attention on their boss or their ex or their wife or their kids or their cell phone or their WhatsApp or their Facebook. They're not thinking at all. So then, as they're sensing the space, they can't think. They can't think, they can't analyze. And analyze, analytical mind is what separates the conscious mind from the subconscious. Open the door. Wow. Now, where you place your attention is where you place your energy. Why? Because we want this center to bloom. 1,400, 1,300 different chemicals that restore and regenerate the body. Let's breathe. Let's open this up. Let's practice this. Yeah, in the beginning, it's a little difficult, but you stay with it and you practice it, pedal by pedal by pedal, placing your attention there, you're putting your own life force. You're turning your love inward, and the body will start responding. And in a week's time, if we're doing that 3 times a day or over and over again, sooner or later, that thing's going to start blooming. And just like when your sexual organs are aroused and they're engorged with blood, this center, when you start feeling love, you make a chemical called oxytocin. Oxytocin signals nitric oxide. Nitric oxide signals a chemical called derived endothelial relaxing factor. It causes the arteries in your heart to literally open up. So your heart is going to be filled with blood and oxygen and nutrients. It's physiological. It's going to feel full. And when that happens, you experience a level of love that passes all understanding. Your cup runneth over. Close your eyes. Retreat from your life. Disconnect from your body. Disconnect from your environment. Disconnect from your schedule. And just give yourself an hour or 45 minutes or 20 minutes. Because when you invest in yourself, you invest in your future. And when you believe in yourself, you believe in possibilities. When you believe in possibilities, you believe in yourself. If you don't believe in possibilities, you don't believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe in possibilities. But if you have a community, a living organism, and every stride you make feeds the living organism, every stride, every effort you make to connect is amazing, because that which we are seeking us. And so then when people have that uncompromising will, same way that they go shopping for a dress or a pair of earrings or go to the gym and work out, with the same intensity, with the same passion, come up against themselves and just say, my body's going, given everything it has. It's when you say, that's all you got? I'm ready. And so then when you start overcoming that, the side effect of it is that all of a sudden you're happy for no reason. And you're less seduced in believing that you need something outside of you to make you feel better. You're feeling better every day without anything outside of you.
Sorry, guys. I can't take my stuff. There you go. Okay. So I don't know how that hit you or if it hit you, but for me, we often, like, there's so much to be absorbed from that, right? We often talk about, creating this self-fulfilling prophecy. We often talk about, like, just when you cast this vision, when you see these things, like, right, when we tell you to write them down or tell you to put them on your dream board, when you see them, when you talk about them, it comes to you, right? If you're not seeking it, it's not seeking you. Like, freaking mind-blowing. I was learning recently about, I think it was from Carla Burns, the reticular activation system, which is a piece of our brain that, you know, for example, when you go and buy a white Honda sedan, suddenly you're noticing all the white Honda sedans. It's when you are starting to, you see it in your mind, suddenly you have it in your hands, and then you're seeing it everywhere. Our brains don't know the difference between, like, what is reality and what we are creating in our minds, you guys. Like, I don't know, that's it's absolutely mind-blowing to me. But I think that we live in this society that is so busy, right? So busy that so few of us stop and close our eyes and allow ourselves to go through the four things he said in the very, very beginning. What are those four things that, you know, you need to reprogram? The emotions that get you in trouble, the four things that you're not going to do any longer. We're so busy that we fail to see those things, and those things are what create our habits. Those things are what create our action. We are our patterns, you guys. If you don't break the patterns, the hurtful ones, or, you know, the emotional ones, if you don't break those, you will cycle over and over and over and over again. And I have just now, these past 2 weeks broke mine. And so that is why this video is reaching me, and it's so powerful. And I hope in some way it's going to reach you. It's not too late to reprogram. You can program and replace with beautiful and with confident and with action and with courage and with all of these things that we tell ourselves that, you know, I'm nervous to do this. No, nervous is your pattern and you can break it. You know, when Pam Souter told us after Green Carpet last year, I want you to leave here and I want you to blitz 100 people. Do you know what I did? I stopped at every market I could. I went into every store. Megan and I made her drive with me. It took us like 6 hours to get home because I was committed to doing that in that moment. I was brave. I was fearless. I didn't care what anyone else said. And you know what? 2 days later, my patterns repeated. I got nervous. I told myself I couldn't do it. I told myself I wasn't a good speaker. I told myself no one wanted to hear from me. That was on me. The truth was, if I would have taken time and committed to being brave for a few days in a row, I would have created a whole new habit and it wouldn't have seemed scary in my head. Our brains are so powerful, you guys. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to remove, at least for me, 2 of the senses right now. All right. So I'm asking you, if you are in a position to close your eyes and try and have no sound happening around you for 10 minutes. I'm going to set my timer. And it's probably the first 5 I anticipate is just going to be some nervous thoughts, like random. Try and quiet that. And then when you can, I want you to really hone in on the emotions that go along with your thoughts, right? So he said he wanted us to take a few minutes and think of 4 things that we're not going to do any longer. Well, these thoughts are going to come to us, right? And I want you to open your eyes to at least write down the feelings that are associated with these thoughts. Give me a head nod if this is making sense. Okay, cool. I want you to write down the emotions. They may not be what you expect, or they may be exactly what you expect. I haven't done this exercise, so I'm excited to do it. It's going to be 10 minutes of quiet. I'm actually going to just turn off my monitor so I'm not distracted. I'm going to turn off my light, and I'm going to write down the emotions that come to me with any thoughts that I have. I think this is going to unveil some cool things. So I'm going to stop talking. I have my timer set for 10 minutes, and yeah, let's see what happens after this. All right, so I challenge you to like put your phones down, maybe turn off a light, just do what you can to sort of like just decrease the stimulus. This is my calm voice inviting you to come back. Oh man. I mean, raise your hand if you don't give yourself that time every day. Yeah. That was powerful. That was powerful for me. I would love to, I don't know if I should like call on someone because obviously that can trigger a lot of personal stuff. I would love someone to volunteer and maybe give us one thing that they're not going to do any longer, and maybe an emotion that you sort of noticed in your thought process that kind of gets you in trouble. Maybe I won't put anything out there. I just would love to hear from someone. Laura's raising her hand for sure. Do you know how to mute yourself? I can unmute you.
I got it. So I, like, a lot of my things are going in circles, and a lot of it was basically around fear. And the major one is that, like, I fear that I may not be as successful as I would like to be, depending on everyone else's like success type of deal. I don't like to like have to rely on anyone else for me to be successful, and I don't want to hold back because of that. I want to keep pushing.
Why are you? What makes you feel fearful that you couldn't?
I've just always been like that. I feel like I've so many times in my past I've pushed so hard and been let down, and I've tried so hard and haven't succeeded. So that's always been there before.
I'm so not sure they can be personal, but do you know if it's like a personal pattern maybe that you have? I don't want to speak for you, but is it, you know what I mean? Like, is it a pattern that you realize that kind of needs to be broken, or was it an external factor? Like, what is it that keeps you from being successful when you've tried?
I know I'm gonna have to dig into that, but I at least recognize it.
Yeah. Do dig into it. Again, it's not always going to be pretty. I totally just discovered two things about myself right here that make complete sense to why I haven't been a finisher. So figure that out. Just take some time, and you might not figure it out tonight. You know what I mean? This could be like the tip of an iceberg of figuring out something about yourself. I so thank you for being brave and for sharing, because you were the first one, and it's super powerful stuff. And again, if it's not powerful yet, if that video didn't touch you, it will at one point, because I can assure you I would have watched it 3 years ago and it wouldn't have done anything for me, but I watched it today and I just thought I wanted to share. Is anyone else willing to show us into your brains a little bit?
I'll say something really quick.
Perfect.
So at the end of the video, it said something about thinking that you need something else to be happy. And that was something that I didn't realize that I did for like a long time. If I was sad, I would either go into sleep mode, where I would just like want to go to sleep, right? Just want to shut everything down, which sometimes maybe you do need that rest, but at the same time, it was kind of like a defense. And then sometimes I would be like, if I could just buy that, or if I could just get there, or if I could just have that, then I'd be happy. And that's something that I realized that I do about like myself. And so I realized you have to be happy like where you're at in order to get more. Like you have to always be hungry for more and like wanting that growth for you and the people and helping the people around you. But at the same time, getting to that next rank isn't going to change you. Like you have things inside of you that like you have to be happy with who you are and where you're at, and also be hungry for that growth, if that makes sense. And so that's something that I like learned, is like to be happy with what I have, and not think that I need something to make me happy, because that thing is not going to make you happy. Like you have to be happy.
That's so cool. And it makes so much sense, but I think for that, which not for you specifically, because obviously you're hungry for next, but like for only comparing to like who I used to be, I would have gotten, if that would have been my aha, I would have gotten caught in like being comfortable, because I think it's a fine line of understanding to be happy with, like exactly what you said, exactly like being happy with where you are, but still having a vision for where you're going and like wanting more. Like that's such a fine line. But
Almost more like being happy with who you are rather than where you are. Do you know what I
yes,
mean? Like loving myself enough to know that like I can get to the next level and I can grow more, not necessarily like comfortable with where I'm at with my finances and stuff. Like, sure, I'm grateful for that, but like you always want more. But yeah, just being like happy with like who you are inside so that you can know that you've got this and like you can get to the next level and you can keep growing. So yeah.
that's so good. That's so good. And I think, you know, so often because we are go, 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 and we are on the page and we are talking about promoting and this month and what's coming and this, like it's easy to get so caught up in the business and like attach our self-worth to our business. And they're so, so, so separate, you guys, right? Like there are probably some not so great people at the top of this company, and there are gems just not even in here yet who will be ambassador one day. So you just cannot let your worth, your personal worth, your self-love, all of these things be identified with what your business is or is not doing. That's so good. This is good stuff. I know we're hitting on an hour here, but I would love to hear from maybe one or two more people, because I think recognizing what we don't want to do any longer and like an emotion that goes along with it and then how to replace it is really, it's a powerful thing. Again, maybe it doesn't come to you tonight. This could just be the start of something really, really cool. Does anyone have any huge moments?
I'll say something, Courtney.
Awesome.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm like wearing a onesie, laying in bed, falling asleep. But actually, before I started this company, I've been in like a really tough spot, and I've always, I guess, like the past 2 years, I really felt like I was down in like a hole, and I had to dig myself out. And like what really helped me get there was self-development, was understanding that what people's actions don't have anything to do with me. What people's thoughts don't have anything to me. I can't change what people are thinking, and I can't expect people to think a certain way. And I think that's just so important, like in this business too, like, and in general, like you have to realize that like it does not matter what someone else says. It does not matter what is going on in someone else's head. It has nothing to do with you. And I actually saw this quote the other day. I'm gonna read it. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you guys can hear me so well, but I think it's like very important, and I think everyone should hear it. It said, an unhealthy person can find offense pretty much anything someone does. A healed person understands that the actions of others has absolutely nothing to do with them. Each day you get to decide which one you'll be. I think that's just so powerful and so true. Like, and I think that's like something we all should understand and learn, is that, you know, part of self-development is not just about you, it's how you also see other people and the light you see them in.
I love that. I love that. If I can, I don't want to take away from that. I just want to be a little personal for a minute. So I wrote down this word in the middle of it, shameless. And I didn't know why I wrote it down, but I was like, whatever, I'm putting it all out there, right? And I feel like I've lived a lot of my life in shame for fear of what other people think. Like I have allowed that from childhood to adulthood, childhood to flipping 3 weeks ago. And so I wrote like, I don't like being doubted, you know. Every person I would tell in the beginning of my business, like they said I couldn't do it. They said I wouldn't do well. They said I'd go back to serving tables. Like, and I received that, but I didn't like being doubted. So I didn't let it stop me. So I wrote an arrow, like I have something to prove. I wrote another arrow because I have something to prove. I wanted to be likable. And you guys, because I wanted to be likable, I haven't been true Courtney ever. Like, I have just discovered, like, I literally told 2 people recently that I feel like I can only be myself around these people. And I'm like, why have I not been myself? Why have I not, guys? I'm sorry, this is like, it's so powerful, but like this session, I hope you'll do more of it longer and deeper and figure these things out about yourself. But like, exactly what you said, we make a decision every single day to either be ourselves or be the person other people expect us to be. And screw that. Because you know what they expect us to be is only going to put limitation after limitation after limitation on our lives.
I think also, like, at the end of the day too, like, my challenge is, like, sometimes I forget that, like, that it's not what other people think about me. It's not what other people expect out of me. Like, it's my expectations. It's what I expect out of myself. And, like, you know, and also you can't just, like, get stuck in your head. Like, I was reading this book, which I recommend to everyone. It's called The 4 Arguments. And I was just literally reading this thing where they were saying, like, you either are going to, you know, basically you're going to surround, you know, you're either going to, like, so there's a victim and there's a judge in your head and, like, a pesticide. And you're basically either going to listen to all they tell you to do, or you're going to stand up and rebel against them like a child and say, no, I'm not going to do this. And you have to do that. You have to rebel against those the thoughts in your mind sometimes. And, like, you know, I was telling a lot of people on our team that, like, I've been struggling with just, like, you know, getting out there and, like, I don't know, like, just sometimes I, like, and then I, like, get the spark where I'm like, why does it matter what other people think? Why does it matter what I'm doing? Like, this is my life. This is what, if they want to judge me, if they want to make assumptions about whatever, then let them.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Their assumptions, their opinions will not increase your paycheck. You know what I mean?
It's not even about a paycheck, I think, at the end of the day. Like, yes, we're all here to make money and all that, but at the same time, we're not going to make money if we're not aware of what we're doing. You know, if you're just, you know, like a child, like if a child just starts building blocks and starts going crazy with it, you know, they're eventually all those blocks are going to fall down. They're going to be frustrated. Like, why didn't my tower stay up? Why did it not get to where I want it to be? But, like, really, if that child took the time to be aware and to concentrate on what they were doing and had, you know, that's why I always say, don't be careful. I say, be aware. Like, be mindful what you're doing. Like, and, you know, if that child was mindful about how they were building their tower to start with, it would never fall down.
Yep. Yep. Awareness. It's August, and I think I just discovered my word of the year because it's so, you know, it's so true. I love that you spoke up. Thank you so much.
Of course, anytime. I like to do the little chit chat life coaching life thing.
Well, you're good at it, so keep going.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Oh man, I know it's 10:05, but this is so fun. Does anyone else want to voice up? Mel? Yeah, I saw your hand go up.
Okay, I'm unmuted now. Well, for me, the 2 things that stood out for me was, like, self-sabotage and then, like, bad-mouthing myself. It's not like it's not external, it's internal for me. And I know that stems from me always having this feeling of, like, I'm not good enough or, like, I don't deserve it. But so, like, I'm working past, like, I don't care what people think. Like, I don't care the external. It's more of the internal for me. And I know that that stems from when I was little, because I always felt like I wasn't good enough in comparison to, like, my siblings. So that's something for me that I'm working past. Yeah.
How are you working past it?
Just self-development and telling myself, like, no, you are worthy of it. You are deserving of it. You know, just having to constantly remind myself of that all the time versus reverting back to the bad thoughts of, like, you're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. You're not going to sign that customer. That distributor's not going to sign up today. Like, just those thoughts. Sometimes they just race through my mind and it's like, no, that's not true. They're going to sign up. you're going to sign the customers that were scheduled to sign up that day, all the distributors, and you're going to continue to message people and just keep pushing. Like, I have to force myself out of those thoughts because it's so easy to snap right back into it, and just it can just snowball and just like do the opposite of what I'm wanting to move past. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just reverting back versus moving forward. But I have to recognize when I'm getting into that situation.
Mm-hmm. And you're doing the right thing. You're replacing them with the true, you know what I mean? Like, you're replacing the lies and the self-limiting beliefs with the truth of the things that you can do. Yeah, but there's a seed that's there, and that's why you keep reverting to it. You know what I mean? And you have to discover it's, I don't know. I've never gone to therapy, guys. I've needed to go to therapy my whole life, and I've never gone. And like, just like I said, these recent weeks where I've found out so much about myself, I'm like, goodness gracious, like, therapy should be required for people because it's, you know, we have these things that create these patterns and we don't know why, and then they limit us and we don't know why. Like, unless you figure out that, you know, your why has obviously grown exponentially. And I know you've done a lot of soul searching and self-searching in the past 18 months. And look at where you have come, look how far you've come, and you're, you know, not your business. You are not your business. But then if we want to go separate, also look at what your business has done because of what you've done, the work you've done. Yeah, Jackie, that's good. Those people that tried to bury you didn't know you were a seed. Man, oh man, that's so true. That's so true. Oh man. I'm just going to close on these two things. Oh yeah, thank you for recommending the 4 agreements. I swear I read that when I was like 17 and I still have it. I need to dig it out somewhere and reread it because it'll be completely applicable in a whole different way. I wanted to just finish with these 2 things. One is just directly quoted from that video because I literally wrote it down word by word while I watched it earlier today. It says, if you're living by the stress hormones of the past, you'll always be investing your energy into the past. And Mel, that goes directly to you, and I hope that's received as a positive thing. But if you continue to live by the stress hormones of that seed that may not yet be unearthed, you are going to always be, the energy you're investing, even if we don't realize it, is still going into our past. How crazy is that? Like, I had to write that down today because that hit hard. And one other thing, since we're going into a new month, I read this. I took a screenshot of it when I came across it. I thought it was so good. It says, new goals don't deliver new results. New lifestyles do. And a lifestyle is not an outcome. It is a process. For this reason, all your energy should go into building better rituals and not chasing results. New goals don't deliver new results. New lifestyles do. And it's not an outcome. It is a process. For this reason, all of your energy should go into building better rituals, right? New patterns, breaking the old. We are our patterns, but we are not defined by them because they can be broken and restructured and made new. I hope this was good for you in some sense. This has been, again, I'm just in a big growth season. If anyone needs help being pulled out of any spot, message me, because I told the leaders the other day, I was like, I have never said I'm a good leader. Like, I've never said I love myself. I've never been able to say these things. And like, holy crap, you guys, I am so ready. Like, I'm so ready to do whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go. I'm ready to make things happen. And yeah, to unearth the old seeds or the bad seeds, or create new life out of, I've got a green thumb. I can create new life out of pretty much anything. So let us help you. If you need anything, otherwise, get ready for some new programming and let's make some new patterns because, like I said, between the new products and green carpet, I mean, these next 2 months are going to be huge for the second half of the year. I mean, we're there, you know what I mean? We're almost in August. So unless anyone else has anything to say, thank you guys for your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for going outside of your comfort zone and sitting in complete silence for 10 minutes and just using that time to reflect. I hope you'll continue to do it and continue to just grow and love yourselves. Awesome, you guys. All right. Have a good night. Thank you.